Thank you. Senator Ricketts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank all of our nominees for your willingness to step up and serve our great nation, and also for your families who will serve alongside you, especially those serving overseas. It's a lot of sacrifice to spend time away from your friends and family here in the United States. And I can tell you, having been a governor and done trade missions, that the diplomatic staff overseas really does a fantastic job. So thank you for your willingness to do that. Mr. Barnes, in your opening remarks, you talked about forced labor. And Communist China's mass detention and surveillance of Uyghurs has made Xinjiang a global symbol of forced labor and human rights abuses. That's why the Congress passed a Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. But a recent New York Times article, Bureau of Investigative Journalism report, revealed Beijing is now sidestepping that law. Communist China is now transferring tens of thousands of Uyghurs out of Xinjiang to factories across China. The state-run labor transfers make it far more difficult for customs officials and supply chain auditors to detect these abuses. That's why in June I led a bipartisan letter with several of my colleagues urging stronger U.S. action to counter this evasion by the PRC. But the bigger issue before us today is how the United States will use every tool available to shine light on these abuses and hold the perpetrators accountable. The Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor must be at the forefront of this fight. Mr. Barnes, these labor transfer programs are deliberately designed to conceal forced labor from the outside world. What role should the DRL play in documenting and exposing the extent of these abuses across China?
Yeah, Senator, thank you for the question. And I'm appreciative of the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act because it's really shined a light on this issue. And I am not sitting in DRL currently in my capacity at the State Department, but I am positive, almost positive, that there are several people in that bureau right now who are focusing on that issue and are tracking that New York Times report that you just referenced. And you're right, as soon as you take action, you have accountability measures for these types of things, China is going to bob and weave and maneuver to circumvent and get around it. And I do think DRL is well positioned to be the tip of the spear leading the department in that effort to close those loopholes, work with our partners on that, and to really bring justice to those in Xinjiang and those who are being trafficked and led out of it.
And so will you commit to taking this up, should you be confirmed, and driving this and then reporting back to us about what progress we're making in trying to stop this evasion that China's doing?
Senator, absolutely happy to work with you in the committee on this.
Great. The European Union has also enacted laws to curb forced labor imports. How can you, if again confirmed, work with international partners to align strategies and amplify the presence of the DRL on Beijing?
Yes, Senator, that's a good question. And part of any strategy and kind of cutting off or getting after the supply chain is going to require the international community, right? Because we can do a good job with American companies and with the issue here in the States and what we're seeing, but we're going to need help. I think Secretary Rubio said America first does not mean America alone. And so eager to engage, if confirmed, those partners on this issue.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Costa Rica has long been known for its stability and democracy. We've kind of talked about that already. But today that reputation is under siege. Costa Rica has become one of the primary transshipment points for cocaine bound to the United States and Europe. Local gangs are competing as enforcers for major Mexican cartels, and just this summer, the Treasury Department sanctioned Costa Rican nationals and entities tied to narcotics trafficking and money laundering. President Chavez has taken significant steps, including a constitutional reform allowing for the extradition of Costa Rican nationals for drug crimes. But the cartels are moving faster, and fentanyl is beginning to seep into the country, threatening to transform Costa Rica into a hub for synthetic drugs. As Ambassador, Ms. Hildebrandt, you will be on the front lines of this fight, supporting Costa Rica's democracy while protecting Americans from the scourge of cocaine and fentanyl. Ms. Hildebrandt, if you're confirmed, what specific steps will you take to strengthen the U.S.-Costa Rican cooperation to disrupt these trafficking networks?
Thank you, Senator, for your question. Costa Rica is a strong partner in the fight against drug trafficking in that region. I understand that the embassy works closely with the national and Border Police and Costa Rica to counter these efforts. If I'm confirmed, I will continue that strong partnership with Costa Rica to counter drug trafficking.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator